All right. So this is going to be the next video in our branch manager training. This is going to be how the post screen works. We're going to talk about philosophy, interview skills, how to accept them, and tips and tricks on how really to do the post screen interview. Now, we're not going to be diving into our script. That is going to be a separate video. This is going to be more of just the how-tos. So first things first is, how does the interview process work? So once we set them up for an interview, they will get an automated text message from the company that explains that they need to watch that 25-minute long position description video. They'll get an email with the link to the video and our Google Form application. And then once they watch the video, they'll fill out the Google Form application to then do the one-on-one phone interview. And the time that we set them is the time that we call them. So they could be set for, so example, if today is Tuesday, they could be set for an interview on Thursday, but fill out their application on a Wednesday. And then we'll call them on Thursday, even though we already have their application and even though they already watched that video. So that's a little bit on how that works. So to start an interview at the very beginning of the day, I will shoot them a text message, just giving them a reminder saying, hey, your video's today. I'm going to be the one who's calling you. Make sure you watch the video and fill out this application. Look forward to speaking to you then. And so what that does is that just lets them know that who's going to be calling and the processes. So next thing that we're going to go ahead and talk about is philosophy and the philosophy of the post-screen interview. So the post-screen interview is really supposed to really do three things. One, it's supposed to pop fear bubbles about the job. So they watch the video and they may be nervous to do sales. They may be nervous about selling something. They may be nervous about the company, right? They may have looked like Vector Online and they may have seen like MLM, pyramid scheme, whatever. Obviously, we all know that it's not, and not those things. But they don't know that, right? They don't know that. So it's to pop fear bubbles and to build confidence in the rep. So the second kind of philosophy when it comes, or I guess backtracking. So pop fear bubbles. The next thing that the post screen is supposed to do is supposed to set them up for training. So making sure that they find a training date and a time. And then the third kind of purpose of the post screen is to make sure that they have a very clear understanding of the job and what it is that they're signing up for and what it is that they just got accepted for. So to pop fear bubbles, clear understanding of the job, and to make sure that they're set for training and have a training date and time. So let's talk a little bit about philosophy. So one, you guys cannot deny anyone the job because of their age, their gender, their race, their sexuality, religion, the way they look, the way they sound, all that kind of basic stuff. So if you're like, oh, this person is really old, I'm not going to accept them, that is illegal. So make sure that you're accepting or denying someone for a viable reason that is outside of those things. So what are some things that you can deny people the job for? So one, if they do not have an American Social Security number. If they do not have an American Social Security number, they cannot do the job because they won't be able to sign their contract and get into Vector Live and do demos. So then they need to have an American Social Security number and they need to be able to work within the United States. Outside of that, there's pretty much no other reason to deny someone the job. My philosophy and my understanding of this job is I'm a very big believer in the Vector opportunity, and I believe that anyone and everyone can do this job, and I put my bets on people. So making sure that you breathe life, confidence, and the opportunity to anyone and everyone. I've seen all different sorts of people from all different walks of life have success in this job, and it's changed people's lives for the better. Another thing that you can deny someone the job for is if they do not have a laptop or a computer. If they do not have a laptop or a computer, how are they going to do demos? So what you can say at that point is like, hey, once you get a laptop or computer, reach back out and then I'd love to continue the rest of the interview. So they need to have laptops so they can do either virtual training and virtual demos, and they're going to need it to do virtual demos. So if they don't have a laptop, you can deny them the job. So let's dive into the interview skills. So one, read your script. Read your script word for word, bar for bar, verse for verse. And you're going to hear me be a big believer in that. And in your guys' demos, you guys read the demo script. In my interviews, I read the interview script. I even have a little script pulled up on my side right here so I don't forget any of my bullet points when talking about this. So make sure that you guys read your script. That'll be the first interview skill that you'll need. Next is knowing your tone of voice. So 90% of human communication is done through facial expressions, right? And when you're on the phone, you can't see their facial expression. So sometimes we get really nervous, really angsty when we don't see people's facial expressions and we don't see their reactions. So when you're on the phone, you might tap your foot, or like click your pen, or you might get up and walk around. And the reason why you do that and the reason why you feel that way when you're talking on the phone with someone is because you can't see their facial expression. So the only thing that you have to go off of is their tone of voice. So when you're on your post-screen interview, making sure that you have a warm, welcoming tone, that you're upbeat, excited. And what I like to do is match their energy +2. So if someone's at like a 3 and they're really low energy, if I came in at a 10, it would overwhelm them and scare them. So I'm going to be at like a chill 5, like a chill 5. And if someone is at like in like a 7 in energy, I'm probably going to be at a 10. If they're at a 10, I'm going to be at a 10. So you just want to get whatever their energy is and then +2. You still want to be more enthusiastic and more excited, and make sure that fluctuates in your voice as well. So just making sure that you have that kind of that awareness of the tone of voice. Next kind of interview skill that you guys will need is rapport and relationship building, and being able to ask good follow-up questions. So if I'm like, oh my gosh, I see you're going to CU Boulder and you're majoring in business. What do you want to do with that in the future? And she's like, oh, I actually want to run my own business. Oh, no way. What kind of business do you want to run? You want to run your own, I don't know, your own art exhibit. Cool. I didn't know that you were into art. Who's your favorite artist? And kind of getting to know them a little bit better, and asking those follow-up questions and building rapport and relationship. And especially if you're doing an interview with a PR or a personal recommendation or a personal referral of a friend on the team, just be like, oh, how do you know this person? How do you know Pax? Oh, me and Pax actually went to high school together. Oh, cool. No way. Like Pax is one of our best reps at our office. So being able to build that relationship and building that connection is going to be good. And then the last thing is for interview skills. At the end of the day, you just want them to be feeling good about the job and feeling that they would be successful, confident in themselves, confidence in what they're doing, and then confidence in you as an interviewer. So I guess I'm just going to kind of ramble on, but another kind of philosophy tip is you want to have the mentality that you are the interviewer and they are the interviewee. They are trying to impress you, not the other way around, right? They are wanting a job. They are wanting to work here with us. We have something that they want, and that's a job and an opportunity. And they want that job. They want that opportunity. And you should go into your interviews with that mentality of like, hey, I'm a really fun, outgoing person. We're really cool and laid back here, but also you need to impress me. So next key skill that you guys are going to need to have is when accepting someone for training. Now, the whole point of the interview is to get people set for training, right? That was one of our 3 things, getting them set up for training. So when we talk about accepting people for training, I always go for a great time, not a good time. And what does that mean? So if they say, oh, I guess I can do this week, I guess I can make that work, I guess this week is a good time to do it. All right, you don't sound too confident in that. What about next Thursday, next Friday? They're like, oh my gosh, yes, next Thursday, Friday would be great. So they could have done it, but they might not have showed this weekend. But if we schedule them for next weekend, they're probably going to show then. So finding a good time or finding a great time, not a good time to book them for training. Next is do not schedule them too far out. I'd say a week to 2 weeks max. 2 weeks if it's like bare bone you need to. Outside of that, get them scheduled either for this week or the following. If you schedule them too far out for training, they're going to lose the value. They're going to not understand the job. And then when we call them to do confirmation calls, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm not really interested anymore because it took them too long to start. So as soon as we accept someone, we want them getting started ASAP, as soon as possible, because we want them to show. Next thing I want you guys to go ahead and put down is always have them write down the time and always have them write down the day of training. So in the script, it'll say, hey, grab a pen, piece of paper in your calendar. Let me know when you're ready. Cool. Write down our training dates, our training times, and the tips for training. So make sure that they're writing it down, because when you write it down on a pen and piece of paper, they won't forget. Don't have them do it in their phone notes, because as soon as they close their notes app, they're not going to look back at it again. Have them write it down on a pen or a piece of paper so that they make sure that they can show it. And if you're nervous about accepting someone for training, if you can book a demo, you can set someone for training. It's the same thing, right? We're asking someone to do a demo with us, and we're asking someone to go through training with us. It's the same thing, same principle. Some other quick tips and tricks on the post screen: take great notes and be engaged. You want to take notes on the person. So I recommend getting a post screen notebook. So I have a notebook full of all of the notes that I take on people. So where they went to high school, their majors, their interest, and why I think they would be a good fit. So when I go to the acceptance, I have a legit reason to accept them for the job. And I can look back on these notes and also build rapport with them later throughout training as well. So make sure that you guys are taking notes on every single person you do a interview with, because they're going to be taking notes on everything that you say, and they're vice versa. Be engaged. Don't be boring. Don't be monotone. Don't be like, why do you think you'd be a good fit for the job? Right. We want to have that impress me kind of factor with that energy as well. So it's like, hey, why do you think you'd be a good fit for the job, man? Having that kind of tone to it. And then lastly, have fun. Have fun. Post-screen interviews are fun. You're going to be able to meet a lot of really cool and interesting people. And this is a very key step in the rep life cycle, and getting people set for training, getting people onto the team. This will be a very key, big, and important factor into your guys' branch success and into our office success as well. So that's a little bit of philosophy on interview skills, the acceptance, some tips and tricks, and a little bit on how the interview actually works.